Hello, Daphne here. Welcome to WOFOW, Woman of Faith on Wheels. It's been approximately 27 days since my last informative, longer update video, and there has been a lot going on in those 27 days since April 11th. This one is titled Full-Time RV Living Challenges, Answered Prayers, and Blessings. And there has been bunches of all of them. So I'm going to dig in and start off with the challenges. April 14th is when the major challenges began. I've had dealt with health issues in the form of serious back pain, which led to spending more money that I didn't plan to spend, which is not the first time it has happened, to woe me, pity party, is this where it's going to end? Which, yes, did lead to prayer, to eating some humble pie because in the shape I was in, I was unable to do everything myself. So I had to humble myself and ask for some assistance. So it began April 14th, before daybreak. I woke up and I was in excruciating pain. It hurt to roll over in bed. It hurt to move at all. It was a struggle to get out of bed. I had to shuffle the 10 feet to my bathroom where I could barely sit down, let alone wipe myself. I didn't understand why this happened. The night before, I was walking, rolling around, moving. I had been hiking. There was just no reason for it. I didn't understand it. I hadn't fallen. I hadn't twisted in any ways. We'd been hiking days before. Everything had been fine. And then I woke up. Bam. Guess what? It hurts to walk. It hurts to sit. It hurts to stand. It just hurts. So I took some ibuprofen. Guess what Daphne didn't have? No ice packs. So I took some towels and I dampened them and I wrapped them in a dry towel, put them in the freezer, and tried to sit as stationary as possible and try relaxation techniques while I waited for the ice pack. Once that got cool enough, I applied it and laid down with it, which was a struggle to lay down in the bed, and I slept till about 9 a.m. The pain was slowly subsiding, but it still hurt to walk. It still hurt to move. I looked at Cooper and I was like, I have to walk my dog. My dog won't use the potty in the campsite. I have to walk my dog. So here we go. More ibuprofen, more acetaminophen, and instead of walking this way down the steps, my camper, I'm holding on to the handle by the door and I am walking this way, one step at a time. And it hurts every single step. I couldn't have imagined that much pain, which led me to questioning God. Instead of just turning in prayer, I was like, God, is it going to end this way? Are you not going to let me have my first work camping gig? I'm this close. Is it going to end this way? Thankfully, those things did turn into prayer. Um, it just took some time, and I had to have the little pity party, and I kind of felt like one of the Israelites during Exodus when every new challenge come up. They're like, where are you, God? What about this? Why did you bring us out here to die, to starve, to not have water? We were better off there. I knew I wasn't better off there, but I felt like I was no better than them. And honestly, people, that's human nature. It is. I'm still letting God work on me. I know it says woman of faith on wheels. This journey has began with faith, but it is about transforming and growing in my faith. And God is using all of this to help me grow in my faith. I did turn those into prayers. I did turn those into prayers. So I was pushing through the pain because there were things that needed to be done. Honestly, I was supposed to be packing things up so that I could be leaving that campsite and heading to Indiana to see my daughter on Wednesday. Well, I didn't think that that was going to happen, so I immediately, number one, because I was in that kind of pain, decided to stay another night where I was at Rend Lake in Illinois. And that was reason number one. Number two was it just felt better to be there for $18 a night because I thought I was going to have to go stay with the family. We weren't sure how my daughter's dad would feel about me coming back there. So nobody had really discussed that. So I was going to stay with another family who's been having their own issues, and I didn't want to be a burden. But every state park I tried to check out in Indiana was $43 or more a night. Shame on you, Indiana. Every other state I have stayed in is like half that price. I was floored. So I reserved another night at Gun Creek Campground. And I also decided that one way or another, I knew God was going to get me back to Indiana by Friday. So I called the chiropractor and made a chiropractor appointment. That was extra money spent that I was not anticipating. And then I decided that the Wednesday I would get up and go to Walmart because I was going to run out of ibuprofen. I needed a back brace and I needed a real ice pack. So Wednesday when I got up and I wasn't hurting quite as bad until I got to Walmart and started walking. I did go to Walmart. I spent an hour in Walmart. Of half of that I was on the phone with my daughter. And I was telling her I was walking when I came in. Now I'm shuffling. It took me an hour. All I picked up was ibuprofen, a back brace, ice pack, milk, and one other thing. Like five, maybe two things. 5 or 6 things, and it took me an hour. I was in so much pain. So I check out. I go out to the truck, and I'm still on the phone with my daughter. I immediately put the back brace on, and I told her, I said, I'm just going to sit here and relax for a while. See if I can take some relaxation techniques and subside some of this pain. And I did, and I was able to get that done. Probably about 30 minutes. So I went and got gas, and I was explaining to her, I was like, I'm pretty sure that I can take care of everything as far as tearing things down and prepping things to get back on the road again, except for putting the 90-pound hitch in the back of my truck. 90 pounds. Because I leave the sway bars on because I do not have the art of putting them in and taking them out perfected yet, which turns into like 30, 40 minutes just to try to get them in. So as I told her that there were 3 men that had parked across the way from me. They came in together. There was 1, 2, 3 campers, and they were all friends, but I, I'm a solo woman camper. I'm a little bit leery about just going up and asking anybody, especially if it's just men, to help me. I've had to do most everything myself the last 20 some years, so I was used to that. But as I'm on the phone with her and I'm talking about that, I see this couple as I'm getting ready to turn into the gate to the campground walking alongside the road. So I stopped. I introduced myself. I asked them, "Are you camping here as well?" And they said, "We are." So I asked them if they would possibly be willing to come help me put my hitch in my truck, my hitch receiver. And they said, "Yeah, sure. We're going to go on a stroll. Just give us your campsite number and we'll be there when we're done." And sure enough, eating that humble pie got me some help. And I was blessed beyond reason. They stated if I needed any other help, they would be happy to come help me. And I told them, I think I can take care of the rest. So I get back. They put my hitch in for me. I'm still doing the ice pack. I'm still doing ibuprofen. I'm doing acetaminophen all along with it. And I'm just pushing through, doing what needs to be done. The pain started to subside. I was able to almost complete my daughter's prayer box. And then I was able to get everything on the inside of the camper packed up, tidied up, tightened up, ready for travel the next day. So I felt good about traveling the next day. I thought I would be ready. But here we go. Thursday the 16th. I woke at 4:30 a.m. Extreme pain again. I mean, we're talking the pain every time I moved. I cried. I cried out. It was unbearable. Immediately, I got to the ibuprofen. I got to the acetaminophen, a fresh ice pack, put the back brace on. And it didn't matter what I did. It didn't matter if I sat down, if I stood up, uh, if I tried to lay down. Everything was just pain, pain, pain. And it was going from my back clear to the front of my abdomen. I thought I might try to eat something because I knew I'd been taking a lot of pain medication and my stomach had been bothering me. So I wasn't sure if that was from the pain or if I was taking too much pain medication. So I tried to eat, but it turned out I was in too much pain to even eat. I thought, well, maybe if I go out and get some fresh air and just kind of pace back and forth in front of the camper a little bit, maybe try to work things loose a little bit. I did try that. It was an epic failure. I made 2 passes about the length of my awning, and I broke out into a sweat. I would have thought I was having a hot flash. My legs grew weak. My legs started shaking, and I said, God, please just get me in the camper. Please just help me get in the camper. And I knew I couldn't stand up anymore, so God gave me the strength to get in here. And I got in the bed, but every single move to get in that bed made me cry out in pain. Apparently, I'd taken enough acetaminophen and ibuprofen. I was able to go back to sleep, and I slept till about 9 a.m. I woke up with my back not feeling any better. I'm looking at Cooper, dreading taking him for a walk just to go to the potty. What should have been a 10-minute walk turned into a 30-minute walk because I was back to shuffling. It hurt. It hurt so bad. So I get him back after taking Money's little potty walk, and I go to the picnic table and sit because it's the sturdiest, most supportive seat that I can find. Of course, I have my phone and I sit down and I go to my YouVersion app. I do my daily devotion. I do my daily Bible reading plan, Bible recap, Tara Lee Cobble. And when I was done, I sat there and I looked at everything that I needed to do. I needed to crank the jacks up. I needed to take that wood, which meant bending over, put it in my storage pass-through. I needed to crank up the tongue so I could back up the trailer, hook up the trailer, crank it back down, get everything attached, which means wedging with the pry bar for the sway bars, getting all of the wood underneath the tongue and the tires all picked up, put through the pass-through. The 26-pound, 8-foot ladder under the camper needed to come into the camper, and I was going to need to dump the black tank in the gray tank. And I sat there and I just said, God, I can't do this by myself. Now I quoted Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now I have heard that is taking that verse out of context, that verse was more about finding peace in whatever position you were in. I'm not sure that in the amount of pain I had, I was finding peace, but I knew that my God could strengthen me. I knew he was the only one who could get me through. I told him flat out, I can't do this by myself. You have to help me, God. I have to get back to Indiana. And so I sat there and I prayed to him for a while, 10 or 15 minutes. And in 10 or 15 minutes, the pain really started to subside in my back. Now, I know I had taken medication, but the pain, sometimes the medication wasn't helping that. God gave me strength. His spirit moved through me and strengthened me and gave me the ability to do all those things I needed to do to get back on the road and travel back to Indiana. You talk about a blessing. You talk about a grateful heart. God shows up every single time for me, over and over and over. And then I am so convicted of, why do I question? Why do I question things? So I spent the day behind the wheel that day with my back brace and my ice pack. And I was able to adjust the lumbar in my seat, which was helpful. And I didn't feel too bad about it. The pain wasn't as bad sitting in a supportive position just driving. When I got back to Indiana, Lehman, my daughter's boyfriend, was there, and big, big hugs. Big, big hugs. That's one thing I've missed. Hugs. I can say that's one thing I've missed. Hugs. And then he helped me set the camper up. He helped me pack some things in the house so that I could do some laundry, because it turns out I had been on the phone with Chantel earlier that day, and she had had a discussion with her dad, and he was gracious enough to be kind and be gracious and let me stay there to actually spend one-on-one quality time with my daughter for the days that I was there and for her birthday. Of course, he said he was leaving, so he wasn't there when I showed up. He was going to take a trip. He ended up coming back, but he was still very respectful and gracious and allowed me that special time with my daughter, which I'm very grateful for. The greatest blessing, and what really, really made me realize how much I missed hugs, was she works second shift right now. I'd fallen asleep in the recliner, which is where I planned to stay anyway because it gave me the most support while my back was hurting really bad. And she came in about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was awoken to her sweet little face pressed up against mine, giving me a big hug, giving me a big kiss, telling me she loved me. And it brought me to tears. And that is one moment at this point that will be etched in my brain for the rest of my life. I didn't realize how much I missed hugs. And I knew I missed her, but yeah, blessings, blessings, answered prayers. It doesn't get much better than that, folks. And if he could do it for me, he can do it for you. If you know anybody in their middle age, 50s, whatever, starting over, uncertain, hit like, hit subscribe. If somebody needs some inspiration, I've got it to give. God has given me a lot of testimony to share. I thank you for taking the time to come to my channel, watch my videos. God bless you.